Hello there. So from today onwards, we are going to start our indie hacking journey right from scratch. So this is day zero, and we haven't built anything. We are going to develop an idea, and we are going to use this indiehackers.com website fully to uh, learn everything about indie hacking, and then our goal is to develop something which generates revenue, real revenue. So yeah, here from here we are starting. These are the main major four steps, and we are now going to focus on one thing only, that what's possible, like to know limitations. Whether your goal is to make $10,000, 10K per month and quit your job, or to make some extra cash from a side hustle, the best place to start is to learn from those who have done it already or before. Yeah, obviously, it's as direct as possible. So we will go through each of these one by one, and yeah, just stay with me with the journey, along the journey, and yes, let's go. Turning side projects into profitable startups. So Peter Levels is one of the known indie hackers. Uh, yeah, so this article is written in January 24, 2018. I just did a presentation at Dojo or Doho, you can say. This is, I guess, a startup which is Doho Bali, a co-working space. What? Okay. A co-working space located in Bali, 1 minute walk from Eco Beach. Okay, that's a cool idea. Let's go through the journey. I just did a presentation at Dojo, a co-working space in Kangu, Bali, about how to build a side project and turn it into a profitable startup. Thanks to this American. Okay, okay, levels. Okay, we're going to follow him. Hmm. For recording it over a year ago, I did a similar presentation, but since then I learned a lot of new stuff that I would like to talk about. A lot of this is covered more in depth in my upcoming book. Okay, so this guy, okay, level Sayu. Hmm. Here's the transcript of the presentation with accompanying slides. Hmm. Turning side project into profitable startup, Peter level. I built a lot of startup and side projects in the last 4 years. They are mostly bootstrapped. Okay, and bootstrap means that you build a business without any funding. Sure. That means you don't go to San Francisco and get venture capital from big old fat rich guys, white guys, obviously, no offense. Instead, you just do it yourself with your own skills, and that's very fascinating for me because it's like a new way to build startups. It's finally made possible because technology is kind of cheap now. It's almost free to build things on the internet, and it's also exciting because a lot of you guys here and girl and uh, whatever you guys want to build things. You might have a job now, a remote job, but you might want to have your own little side project, make some money, or that maybe becomes a real startup later. And so maybe that's relevant for you guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. Okay. I would like to start with my own story. 4 years ago, I was in Holland and I just graduated from university. I studied business and I was really bored, obviously, like me, because all my friends got corporate jobs and I had a YouTube channel for electronic music and I was making like 2K dollars a month. 3K dollar a month. So a lot of money for students for just a graduate. So I was really happy, but I was sitting at home at my desk making these YouTube videos, and I loved the music and stuff, and I loved doing it, but it was really boring being at home all the time. So my friend said, "Why don't you buy a laptop and just try and do this on a laptop, and then you can maybe travel a little bit." I was like, "Okay, I'll do it. I'll do that." So I sold all my stuff. Similar story, maybe to you guys. Okay. You sold all your stuff you were renting, and you just flew to Asia or South America, whatever, and you went traveling for a little bit with your laptop. I did this. I was all over Asia, and the problem was my YouTube meanwhile was going bankrupt. Okay. It was 3K, 2K, but then suddenly it was 900, and then 700, and then 500. I was like, fuck. I need to make some money or I'm not gonna be able to pay this travel and just my rent and stuff. And also I was getting fucking depressed. I would be nomading, and then I came back home to my parents' house. I was sitting there in this cold Dutch winter, and I just wanted to die, and I got really big anxiety and depression and panic attack for the first time ever in my life because my life was going fucking bad. So I needed to figure out something to do. And okay. So I knew, like my dad always says, if you're depressed, you need to order 1 cubic meter of sand, okay, and get a shovel and just start shoveling one to other, and you do nothing, you do something, and you get less depressed. So I was like, okay, I'll do it like digitally. 12 months, 12 startups in 12 months. Crazy. Okay. I'll just do 12 projects in 12 months, and I called it 12 startups in 12 months. It wasn't really startups, but I'll just do it. And I started building little these little projects. I took 1 month for each, and I had something to do. I had focus. Still wasn't making money, but whatever. Okay. Hmm. The first one was my friends and me. We would always send each other music over email. So I made this little app that would playlist it, and you could list all the music we sent to each other. Back when we didn't really have chat apps yet, so now nobody uses email anymore. Anyway, this didn't make any money, but it was really fun, and I launched it. And this is 2015, I guess. Yes. I made animated Okay. I made animated GIF books, so I got a supplier in Malaysia. He could print flip books, and then I would send the animated GIFs to him, the frames, and we would order it. Everybody loved it, but the margin was literally like 2 or 3%. So it was hardly making any money. I think I was losing money after tax. It was a bullshit. It was total bullshit, but it was really fun. Okay. Product hunt. Okay. Then this was the first one that went really viral. Okay, the third one. It's go fucking do it. So you could enter a goal. You could add a deadline like I wanna quit some smoking. I want January 2018. You set a price and you enter your credit card details with Stripe, and on the deadline your friend gets an email and it asks, hey, did Peter really quit smoking on January or not? And if the friend said no, your credit card would be charged with $50, $100, and the money would go to me laughing. And this was the first one that was starting to make money. So I was going from my YouTube crashing to $200 a month. Suddenly I was making $500 a month again with this. So now I was up at about $700 a month, so I could live again. So this was kind of nice. Still wasn't a lot of money, but okay. So the idea was okay. Everybody loved it, but the margin. Okay. Hmm. And then the press started getting involved. Okay. So my friend made this kind of funny picture of me, really pretentious, but whatever. It worked because the press started biting on this project of 12 startups in 12 months, and everybody started writing about it like the next web tech in Asia. And suddenly, like thousands of people started emailing me and following me on Twitter and stuff, and something was started to happen. So I cracked this little marketing thing accidentally with this 12 startups thing. Okay, what is this? Hmm. Meanwhile, I had to keep continuing building more products. So, one product I built was a spreadsheet of cities. So, I was in Chiang Mai and Bangkok and Singapore and Hong Kong and Tokyo, whatever. But I wanted to find places where the internet was good, where it was kind of warm, like 26 degrees Celsius, obviously. And it wasn't super expensive to live because, I had $700 a month. So, I was like, okay, let's make a spreadsheet, and I published it on Twitter. But I forgot to, well, actually the first time it leaked and I forgot to remove the edit thing. So actually people were starting to edit it, and I was like, "Just share it on Twitter," and it went viral. And hundreds of people, maybe I think 1,000 people, started adding data to it. And then we had 75 cities with all the costs of living and fast internet and stuff. Okay, that's crazy. And all these nomad hotspots. So then I made it into a website and I launched the website to Hacker News. Crazy. And it went number one. And all these nomad hotspots. So then I made it to a website. Okay. I launched the product, went number one, and just started going viral. And it was 2014 August or something at the time. Okay. Digital nomads. It just okay. Hmm. The second Nomad wave of 2014, I think, after the first one in 2007, started with the 4-hour work week by Tim Ferriss. Kind of started with Nomad List if you look at the data. Nomad List, okay. Hmm. Guy is towards Bali, okay. And I grew Nomad List into this big website with loads of data, and it's 1250 cities now to 50K data points. It's all crowdsourced and it makes money. It makes 15K dollar to 25K dollar a month in membership fees and stuff. So that's a far reach from the $700 I was living on. But this took obviously years to build. But at least this one actually stuck. One of those projects stuck, which is kinda the philosophy I do now. It's like shotgun. You shoot a lot of projects and see which sticks. I bootstrapped a remote okay from Nomadless success. It's like a remote job website, which is now also since December the number one remote job website in the world with almost a million monthly visits. So that's really cool, and it makes about 10K a month now. So this guy played his distribution channel very well. He used his distribution channel, which was made using the idea of this this guy is launching 12 startups in 12 months. This idea made him a distribution channel, which he used for different startups and made money out of it. Okay, crazy. Hmm. I also made hood maps recently. This is Congo. So it's a map where everybody can cross those text, kind of like Wikipedia text. Uh, things they think about a place. They can color it based on if it's hipster or rich. So you kind of know where to go in a city. So this is Congo. So where it's a nomad Mecca, Deuce hipster Mecca, and the ocean is full of hot surfer boys and girls. Okay. While building all these projects, there were one framework and pattern that kept happening, which was like you have an idea, or I would have a problem and make it into an idea. I would build it, I would launch it, I would grow it, and then I would monetize it to make money from it. And then, if I got really annoyed with working on it, it would automate it with robots. So today, I want to tell you about all these processes. And importantly, there is no VC involved, no venture capital, just self-funded. So let's start with idea. A lot of you have already started or have ideas, and a lot of them are good. A lot of them are really bad, and I think the bad ones are pretty much bad because they are not focused on a problem. I hear constantly that let's make another food delivery app or another fashion clothes delivery app or whatever, but they are not really problems that you want to solve. So my thing is like I try to look at my own life and what am I really annoyed with. Okay, questioning himself. What is in my daily life? Something I can work on, information that's missing on whatever. With Nomad List, I wanted to know new cities where I could go. With Hood Maps, I was lost in these tourist centers of big cities and I was like, fuck, I wanna see the real city. So I built Hood Maps, for example. So I was always trying to find problems and then to solve. And I think that's the way to do it. And the reason that's cool because when you have a problem you solve, you're the uh, expert at your own problem. So this is an expert, and it's a competitive advantage because let's say you're gardener, you know very well about the problems that gardeners have about flowers and plants and stuff, and nobody else knows that, or only other gardeners. So you have a little niche there. That's competitive. That's good. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So you always have to be in a smaller circle, on an inner circle, uh, because the thing which makes money isn't common. You have to work on yourself. Yes. The problem is we are all very similar. Look at us. A lot of guys here beards and short hair and trimmed on the sides like me. So it's bullshit. That means that we all start getting the same ideas because we all have the same problem. So you wanna become less homogeneous, right? So how do you do that? Well, you have to start doing crazy shit. Okay. Hmm. So you have to, I don't know, go skydiving or go trek to the jungle for 6 months alone without any phone or just do some original stuff. Go to or go to orgies or whatever. Okay. Find new subcultures to go into. Fringe subcultures are really good because when it's taboo, nobody else is doing it. Yes. Yes, you have to do something which nobody else is doing it. So it's competitive advantage again, and you might find some business or app idea or service idea that whatever in there, but you have to become original because otherwise you're making the same shit everybody else is making, and that's not gonna make you money. You have to build something which is unique, and to know about that, go fuck around, go wherever you like, and just fuck around, don't sit. What I see a lot is a big fault too. People think people really people think really big with ideas. Okay, yes, this is true. So they start with, I want to build a space company, but that's bullshit because you're nobody, obviously. So it does not go as fast as that. You have to start with something very small. So if you look at Elon Musk, he started with PayPal, which was a payment app for Palm Pilots, old smartphones. Crazy. Okay. You have to start with something small and then you will proceed, because if you don't learn numbers, how you're going to do calculations like complex algebraic calculations, because you don't know numbers. So you have to start with something small. That became big, and he sold it with a lot of other people, and then in the end, after 20 years, he's finally building a space company. So start slowly, build something small. Hmm. Fix a small niche problem first, make some money, and keep growing the niche and keep growing bigger. With Nomad List now, it was focused on no nomads, but now I'm going bigger. I want to go into the whole travel market, which is about 10 or 100 times as big as nomads. So grow a niche instead of starting big, you know. Yup. Start small, it's better. Hmm. How to make 100? No, this is not 100. This is 1 million. Okay. Make a 5,000 5K dollar product for 200. Okay. Oh, so these are the ways to make $1 million. Hmm. So if, yeah, if like it goes like this, if your product is 5K dollar, then you have to sell to 200 people to make $1 million, something like that. Like if you uh, keep an amount in your mind and find ways to crack that amount. Yeah, so these are the ways. So I guess $100 is something which people would buy and would try, would give it a try. That yes, I should try it, and if that product is fulfilling their need, and you are able to sell the product to 10,000 people, you're going to make 1 million. This is as easy as possible, but yeah, you need to work on various things to crack that. And a niche is really cool, because if you have, let's say, $100 product, you only need 10,000 people for $1 million. I was shocked. Is that accurate? Yeah, it is accurate. It's $1 million, so you don't need a lot of, and you can take a picture if you want. Obviously, you don't need a lot of customers to make $1 million. You just need a small niche of people. Small niche of people. Don't, you don't need a lot of, like, you don't need 1 million customers. You just need uh like 10K customers or something like that, and sell them $100 product. Then you're going to make 1 million, and that's it. That's the easiest way. Like, uh just limit, like, if someone says we are going to make 1 million, by just hearing 1 million, we are going crazy by mind that okay, it's 1 million, it's very big. But no, let's picture that, like, let's break the number, let's break the math. So 1 million is something like 6 zeros. six zeros. Like if we have $10 product, we have to sell it to uh like 1 lakh people or 100,000 people. So yeah, calculation are like this. So we need uh to picture this calculation in our mind, and we should not go blank by just listening to $1 million. We need to picture something like this and not go blank. Yeah, because everything is doable. Okay, you don't need a lot of customers to make $1 million. You just need a small niche of people, everybody to the picture. Yeah. Nice. Flash isn't gonna help. Okay. Okay, so you can also make an idea list. That's what I did too. Every time I have an idea, I write it in a concept list. This is all bullshit ideas, but whatever. And I would see which ones are promising and which keep coming back to me, and then I might start building them. And it's good to just track this, do it in workflowy or Trello or whatever to do, post it or whatever. Write it down because you might need the idea later. I think a lot of the remote work ideas I had, they came months before I actually did them. So it takes a lot of time to boil in your head. Group thing. Okay. Also, I would definitely super advise, and this is very contradictory advice from what most people say. Do it yourself. Don't work with other people. You don't need a technical co-founder if you're a business person. Okay, just learn to code, just do it yourself and learn to design or whatever. Do the basic yourself because it will save you so much time and groupthink. Groupthink uh is very dangerous if you have two or three people in a group, you're building a startup. I've seen it myself. People sort of hyping each other like, wow, this dog food delivery idea is really gonna change the whole fucking ecosystem of the world. It's just not true, obviously. It's just you're hyping each other. And if you're alone, you cover your hype up cause you're mostly insecure, right? And being alone is kind of good because yeah, it will help you ship faster and better. Idea into execution is business. Bad idea into execution is business. Okay. Low execution, okay. Good execution, good idea, great idea. Okay. Hmm. A lot of people are like, okay, I'm working on a startup, but I can't really tell you because we are in stealth mode and I won't share that idea because otherwise somebody steals it. Which is more bullshit. Nobody's gonna steal your idea. It's all about execution. Everybody has the same idea anyway. The execution make it original and unique. So actually sharing your idea is good because you can talk to people and you can talk to maybe potential customers already before you actually build something. So be happy with sharing your idea. Build. So you have an idea, you finally got it and you wanna build it. So how do you start building it? Well, lot of people they need to learn to code and they need to go to coding boot camps or code academics or whatever, and I would definitely not recommend that because it's gonna take months or years and I don't really think that works. I think it's a little bit of scam. I think you should learn to code yourself. I think you should just open Google and write how to make a website, and that's how I learned it. That's how most successful people around me learned it. And the thing is, the biggest thing is coding and business you can learn is learning how to learn and how to figure things out yourself for yourself. That's very practical knowledge, and that's super important in entrepreneurship. Just practically knowing how to do things and not calling somebody like, hey, how do I do this? Or not finding a book or something about it. Just do it yourself. Why not? All the information is now on the internet. Obviously, it's on YouTube, it's on Stack Overflow, it's on Google, so you can easily find for yourself. And that's again, it's the most important skill you can have. Learn to learn, learn to learn. Okay, if you really are stubborn and you're just like, no, Peter, I'm not gonna learn to code. Use Typeform. Typeform.com is a site where you can make a form and you can even accept payments and you don't need to do any coding, and you can find actually build a little mini startup just with the form. Like here, you can enter your credit card and then you can actually pay. You can accept payments with Stripe and stuff. Another collab is card. Okay, it's card.co. It's built by my friend AJ and it's super amazing. It lets people without code build really advanced websites. I built this yesterday. Okay, it's a luggage pickup service, and I just built a whole landing page out of nothing. And then if people schedule a pickup, it gets sent to Zapier. It's API website, and the luggage gets picked up. Not really, but I could do it if I want. Hmm. Okay. Me too. I started with a spreadsheet. Normally this was a spreadsheet. I wasn't a good coder. I could make WordPress themes for a little bit, but I was not really good at it. So I learned just in time with Google. I learned something when I needed to learn it. When the problem happened, I would go on Google and just find it, figure it out, and because the only other option of not learning it was my entire startup failing. It's a very nice constant too. You really need to learn how to make the button align with the logo because everybody thinks it's ugly and that's a good reason to go learn. Also, I see a lot of people they build startups for years or months. Like, yeah, I have been working on this thing for 6 months. We have no customers and the design is perfect and beautiful. That just dull work. I would say max 1 month for a prototype. It has to be good prototype though, but don't spend too much time working on something because you need to validate the launching. That's very important. Launch. Build, launch. Okay, launching is very important. So build something and now you wanna actually get users, and I think this is the most important step in any startup before it validates if the product is actually useful or not. Okay, so very important. Launching is very important. So you build some things, and now you wanna actually get users. And I think this is the most important step in any startup because it validates if the product is actually useful or not, and can be monetized and stuff. Okay, MVP. This is called MVP, minimum viable product. Platforms for launching startup. Product Hunt, of course, one of the biggest. It will get you about 10,000 users, 10,000 visits, and I think about 10% maybe convert or something or less. Tips for Product Hunt: make sure just the whole item looks very really good. Add some animated GIF, make a really good slogan, ask your friends and stuff about the slogan for your startup. A lot of startup slogans are just super obtuse and I don't know what they actually mean, so make it very simple, very important for Product Hunt. Product Hunt works in San Francisco time, so the time on Pacific Standard Time, which means that you might have to stay up until midnight San Francisco time and then you need to submit your product. Because otherwise, if you submit at like I don't know Bali time 4 p.m., it might be 1 p.m. San Francisco or something. Anyway, a little bit too late to compete with other startups on Product Hunt for that day. And you want to be high on the ranking. It's very important. Also jump on the comments when you're on Product Hunt. You know, talk with people. Don't be marketing. Just be honest and say. If these bugs or whatever, fix them immediately and be friendly. Be a human, it's very important. Product hunt, okay. Hmm. Hacker news. One is product hunt, another is hacker news. Hacker news is another one. Hacker news is very critical. They can destroy your whole startup with their comments. Okay, here's it's even more important. Don't do marketing stuff. Okay, you don't have to do marketing stuff. Just focus on talking about features and bugs and stuff. Be as frank and honest and personal as you can. If you build a food delivery app, whatever say, show HN how built a I built a food delivery app and then say something unique or whatever. Make it original but make it friendly. No spamming. Don't use voting right rings and stuff. No bolts, all that bullshit. It's only gonna go down, they'll see it. Reddit, obviously. Reddit is very, very gigantic. It's about 100 times big than the sites before Hacker News and Product Hunt. Obviously, Reddit is the mainstream launching platform right now. I think it's becoming very quickly. Reddit again also they don't like spam. They don't like marketing. They will remove your listing very quickly. Important thing about Reddit is you wanna submit to subreddit. So if you doing an app for horse management, you might wanna go in. Okay, horse up, and you wanna be very friendly. You wanna say, "Hey guys, I made this app about horses, how to manage them. Would you give me feedback on it?" And then if it gets upvoted, people will like it, and it will uh, actually that's a very good chance to go to the front page. I did it twice. I did it with Nomad List. I did it with Food Maps. The problem is when you go to the front page, when you get about page 2 to 3, your server will die because it can't handle traffic. It's like literally thousands of people in the same second. So you wanna make sure that your site stays up. So technical term, but make it static. Make it in XHTML instead of PHP or JavaScript. Just make it static so it actually runs. Load test it before, cause a lot of people just don't get onto the front page when they might have if the server stayed up. And this again, hundreds of thousands of users you will get from this for 400,000, maybe half a million. It's crazy. Okay, so the distribution channels are first product hunt, second is hacker news, third is Reddit, and maybe fourth is Twitter. Then the horse forum. It is very important. Okay, you're like, what the fuck is this slide doing here? No, it's very important. So if you make, for example, a house management app, you want to also go in your niche. So you want to find websites specifically for your niche. In this case, horses, and you submit it here. Same story, make it personal. This is actually users that might convert the highest because it's very relevant to them. They have horse stables or whatever and they need your app to publish here. Okay, horse forum. Hmm. Bodybuilding, another one. If you do a bodybuilding app, no, we are not doing that. Okay, and yeah, this is subreddit for motorcycles. If you make a motorcycle app, you get to the point. Question about launching. Audience. Okay, he was okay. I was just gonna ask, do you have any procedure that you go through when you do a new startup, or you just jump right into it? Like, are you doing a competitor analysis or yeah, good question. I sometimes do competitive analysis, like I check if the app already exists. But the thing is, the fact that an app already exists does not mean you cannot add to the market, right? So many times when an app does not exist, is you wanna build, it means there is no market for it. So usually there is an app that already exists, but it's shit. and it does not have a lot of users and is just broken and ugly and whatever, so you can just make a better one. That's what I did a lot of times. There's a lot of competitors of mine who were just, their site was just unusable, but they were big sites before. But yeah, so it's easy to not even take them over, but not just like, yeah, you will get more traffic, but yeah, I will usually dive right into it, and I'm little bit arrogant and naive. So I'm like, oh, I can do this better. Fuck this. I'll just do it, and sometimes usually it does not work out. Okay, but mostly 1 out of 10 times it does, and then you made something that's better. So being a little bit arrogant about it works, I think. So these are the questions. Okay, audience. I mean, like, do you have a checklist? I guess a lot of things that you would go through. Yeah, so I'll try and launch. So he asked, do I have checklist? Things I go through during launch. I'll try and do product hunt, Reddit, Hacker News, all those websites on the same day. Because you kind of wanted constant traffic. Because then it's like, oh my god, this whole day is about your startup and everybody is talking about it, and it has this giant effect like exponential. Hmm, but the checklist is pretty much, yeah, it's kind of tweet about it, share it on Facebook, then submit it. Yeah, just it's pretty obvious, I think. Yeah, sure. Hmm. So if you want to find customers, go to Product Hunt, discuss there, then Reddit, then Hacker News, and then obviously Twitter. These are the four major platforms. So when you have launched it, of course, mm, you need to check your analytics, like if it actually worked. Until usually you see a drop off in traffic, you see a spike of traffic when it launches, then it goes down and down and down, which is very normal. That doesn't mean your site is not validated, but if and when in a week or month literally everybody is gone, then you might have to conclude this wasn't a successful product. If it does still have traction, you want to grow and grow that traction. Now, what I really hate these days, and it's also of events in dojo, is there is a lot of people, a lot of talk about non-organic growth. Okay, and I think that just does not work. There's a lot of talk about Instagram bots. I tried them too last week. Didn't work. There's a Twitter follow and follow bots, spamming and buying, selling email lists, all this fucking dodgy, shady gray or black hat stuff. And I hate it so much that every time I'll be in some heavy discussions at some coffee shop with somebody, what you're doing is not good. Don't do it. But I don't want to be a moral knight. My point is this, is how non-organic growth looks. It's a very ugly cow. It's not good. And look how beautiful the next cow looks. Okay, so I think you should follow the organic path, and non-organic path is not good. Hmm. This is the organic growth, which means people actually really like your website. They are not there because of bots or ads as well. Ads are ethical, but I don't like ads. Like, who of us has ad blockers? See, so why do we have ad blockers, but we are still buying ads at Facebook and Google? It's kind of morally ridiculous. I don't believe that ads will be the future. Ads, they give you, let's say they give you a spike of $10,000, sorry, 10,000 users and signups, but when you stop buying these ads, usually it slowly just fades out. And I see a lot with venture capital based startups, and I think venture capital based startups are a lot like this because it's all fake growth. It's all fake growth and paid traffic, and I don't really think it works. It stops working with the money stops, right? Then it usually just fall off. And then you didn't really actually build something useful. Organic growth is much cooler. because it's much more hard to get, but when you get it, it means you validated the product you build. uh, so you actually have people using it and actually people loving it. And if you don't get traffic, it means your product's just not good enough. It's just that. So organic growth is the ultimate test of, is my product good or not? Should I tweak it? Should I build another product, a new thing, whatever, to have organic? And if you have all this paid traffic in there, okay, it's kind of hard to see if people actually really like your product or if it's just paid traffic. Hmm. Very important what I do to kind of get this growing. I want to build with my users. So every site or every app I have has this little feedback box. It just sounds like, hey, do you have feedback? Tell me, be nice. Because people can be really angry in these feedback box. So I had to ask, be nice, and now they're really nice to me. So it actually worked. If this box like this, the images are not loading, you can write, hey, your images are broken. But also there's a lot of features requests. Every week I'll add a feature or I'll change a feature someday. Somebody just says it's wrong. This week, I think I moved the search box on Nomad list to the right because somebody said it looked ugly. So yeah, and then they are happy and they're involved in the process of building. I think it's called co-creating. Building with users is amazing because they become what is it called ambassadors. Wow, you're British ambassador of your product, so they will tell, hey, I sent Peter this message about the search box and he actually changed it. I loved it. You should use Nomad List too. So it's very positive effect you have and users are really smart. You should not always listen to everything they say, but you should definitely consider it what they are saying. A more beautiful feedback box, of course, intercom used by most startups. Intercom. A more beautiful a more beautiful feedback box, of course, intercom used by most startups. This works as well. It works very well. It's paid though, so a little annoying. Very important to add your website or app is some kind of thing to so you can re-engage users later. So you launch with 10,000 users on Hacker News or Product Hunt, but then after that day, those 10,000 people are gone. Sorry. So how do you contact them again? So you wanna re-engage. So capture their email with, I don't know, somewhere like this. Send me a message when you have special food discounts in my area or whatever. What I did with Remote OK was the remote jobs website. I would have daily job alerts that people can subscribe to. Nomad list has a newsletter, so that kind of stuff. So you can email people later. Don't spam people. Again, just be sparing using these email addresses because you guys know how annoying it is to have annoying emails flooding your inbox. Very importantly and very trendy. And if you do this, you will be so far ahead of everybody else. Build your startup in public. So this guy is a friend of mine, kind of friend, acquaintance, not really acquaintance. Okay, okay, we hardly know each other. Okay, we once tweeted. Cool. It's Drew Wilson. He's really cool and he built Glasso, this payment startup, but he built a lot of it in public and he just live streams. So he's just sitting there. It's a little boring, but also kind of fun because he plays music and stuff, and you can see his code, so you can see the product hunt built right there in front of me, and that's super cool. And the cool thing is, nobody else is doing that. I did it with Roadmap. I hardly know about who is doing it, and it gives you so much attention and stress. So definitely try this. Yeah, take guts. but also streaming. It makes you very productive. 100 people were watching me and I never coded as fast because I was just so nervous and stuff. So it worked. Where was I? And cool thing. Okay. Hmm. Keep launching. Another one to keep growing is to keep launching. So don't launch your startup once, launch a feature as well, and launch to the press again. And just keep doing it every 2 or 3 months. You wanna keep getting into the press and keep getting into their website. These websites. I don't think you can launch it in product hunt every 2 months, but you can launch everywhere. Every big version number you have or every change you do, you can launch again, and that's very important because you want to stay in people's mind. You are not running a charity, you are running a business. If people won't give you money for your product, you have an existential crisis on your hands, and that's very important. And I see so many startups just don't make money, and it's like, how do you pay your rent? Just I don't know, and uh, that's just not the way to do it. It's very important to make money because you need to pay your bills. And I would say within 3 months, I would say within 2 months, maybe get the first dollar in. Maybe even during launch day, get the dollars running. Cause otherwise, again, you didn't validate. You made a nice startup, but it's not making money. So it's not really validated as a product, and that's a big problem. Focus on money, and focusing money is very difficult for us. I'm Dutch, so especially for Dutch people, they are traders historically, but they are very weird about money. You're not really all allowed to make money. What? Okay. How dare he charge for a simple scheduler app? Really? Okay. This is a typical, I wrote it myself, but this typical example email of the stuff I would get when I started charging money. I can't believe what just happened. So anyway, I was feeding my cat and then I trying to find an app so I can schedule my social media posts. I really put too much. So I found media scheduler 2000.com. I have to pay $25 per month for it. Who does the maker of this app think he is? What a capitalist. Okay. He's just making easy money over the backs of others. This should be free. It's always these big companies trying to make money off the little people. Even Gmail is free. Crazy. Hmm. But really, this is a typical email I get. It's absolutely ridiculous. They think you are a big company, but you are just you and your laptop, and you're trying to just pay your bills and buy a coffee. And this happens so much, especially in Reddit. Like people really hate when you charge money for something, but you should charge money for something and just ignore these people. And there is always a free alternative of your app that's worse. But yeah, you're not competing with them, you're competing in the premium with actually charging money. Hmm. A very good example of how to charge and validate at the same time is Buffer, and they pioneered this whole thing. They didn't even launch a product yet, but they just put up a landing page with the plans and pricing button, and if you clicked it, this social media scheduling as well. You would get an email box and you could sign to get updated if the app actually launched. And this was amazing because this is literally just validating how many people will click on this, how many people add their email. Okay, so now we have a list of 10,000 people that might actually want to pay for it because they clicked pricing, so they actually want to maybe pay for it. I did this idea even worse or even bigger. I made a whole payment button with a fake stripe box where you enter your credit card for a feature you want to use. And even after paying, they would not actually be paying. I said you didn't actually pay. This was fake Stripe payment box, but now I know that you would pay if I build the actual feature. but I didn't actually build the feature yet. So that's again validating a feature before you build it. It actually pulls, it actually people pays for it. If actually people pays for it, okay, that's a lot. Hmm. Uh, put buy button on everything. Okay, crazy. This is the most important slide of my presentation. You wanna check what people pay for in your product. So every feature, put a paywall on it to see what happens, and then start. If nobody pays for it, make it free. But yeah, limit your app as well. See what people pay for again. Some super important. A few business models here that can actually you can apply. A lot of websites, and startups, they don't actually make money off their main product. They make money off their byline product, kind of their main product. Okay, so this is Nomad List. This website does not make any money. This is all free data. You can filter cities in the whole world. Nobody pays money for this. Hmm. But there is also like a social network for travelers, which is Nomad List, which 7,000 people pay money for. Redacted like dribble. You guys, a lot of designers here don't dribble design website. It's free to post your designs on dribble, and nobody pays money for this. But there is a job site that business pay for to post jobs, and they pay a lot for it. I think $299 for 30 days. Yeah. So you can have your main site to be free, like premium, and then have side things that you can charge for. Also, sponsorships are good. When I launched Nomad List, I got an email within the first day by Matt Mullenweg, the founder of Automatic and WordPress.com. Crazy. The founder of WordPress.com, who had liked the website, and he said, "Can we sponsor it?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll add a little banner." And then Automatic WordPress hiring, and he paid me a few $1,000s a month for it. And it still pays, which is very, very, very helpful and nice. It's just it's very hard to get sponsorship going outbound, like emailing companies for it is very hard. You wanna be so cool as a product, maybe, and be lucky to a cool company wants to help you and provide you so you can keep developing on the website. And this money from automatic helped a lot because in the beginning I was not making a lot of money, so it has helped me to continue developing the website. Okay. A more cool modern model that you might know is Patreon, where you just simply ask your users to pay money, not even for a special feature, but just for supporting you as a maker. And I just saw this week on Twitter a guy called Stingray Storehouse who does a lot of open source development. He just asked like, "Hey, do you want to give me a money? Give me money for for my open source work. The last few weeks I've been working for free, and I think he got a few $1,000s. Hmm. This is my fir- this is my friend abroad in Japan, a Japanese YouTuber, a British guy in Japan, and he makes $3,000 a month from 800 people paying him a few dollars a month, and it's actually a sustainable model to make money these days, and why not? Overcast, a podcast app for iOS, does the same thing. They don't have premium features anymore. They just have a pattern part where you can literally just say, "Okay, I'll pay $12 because I love the app," and you don't even get anything. You are a supporter, and I think 400 people a day or something. They are patrons, so it's a lot of money. Hmm. Single payment, okay, subscription. Hmm. So I think subscription is better, far, far, far better. very important about monetization. I see a lot of people, I did the same thing. I see a lot of people charge $50 once to unlock a feature or use your product, but it's not recurring revenue. And recurring revenue is quite important because as you can see in the chart, if you have a single payment of $75 and the company you can see it, but it says sales growth by 25% a year, which is kind of okay growth. Year one, you make $75,000 on both. In year five, when you have a single payment by a user, you make $183,000, and with the subscription, you make almost 2 million a year because subscription keep going and they keep growing with more and more subscriptions, so it's exponential kind of growth and it's just a lot of money. And of course you'll have churn too. You'll have people canceling your subscription, but still in the end it's kind of positive. One thing is subscription are annoying for users. I hate getting another bill of some service I signed up a few years ago, like fuck, I was still paying for that. I don't even use it. That might be annoying. Hmm. So if you have this whole business running now, you make money and you kind of get sick of the business. Like I get sick of startups after 1 to 2 years or whatever. I like doing new stuff. I hate doing the same shit all over and over again. So you can get robots to work for you. You can hire people, but humans are difficult. Robots are much easier and very efficient. I think so. Automating. Hmm. So this is my server right now. Okay. I made a screenshot a few hours ago. In the top, you can see it's blocked, but it's 187 robots are running now. That parallel processes, and they are doing something for my site. They're getting the weather for the cities on Nomad list. They're getting job posts for remote OK. They're processing refunds for users. Both sites are 100% automated, and these robots keep everything running. This is my scheduled cron jobs, which means it's tech lingo for scheduled programs. These robots. All these things are things that I need to do hourly or daily or weekly. This is my whole business is all these lines. Crazy. This is all the robots running everything, and for me it's really cool. It just looks really cool that I have this server somewhere in San Francisco and it just does all this stuff, and I have anywhere from 180 to 700 robots running working for me 24 by 7, and they can scale up and scale down whenever they want. When they need more money, they just hire more people within seconds. More robots is just magnitude of this is like it's hard to explain, but it means that you can run entire business with robots with scripts doing stuff for you, and this means that you can hire people, but then you cannot really fire them because it's hard with labor laws. Humans get sick, all this stuff, and I know it sucks, but this is the reality. Robots are to be honest, just more efficient at a lot of stuff. This, for example, is an app that monitors robots, so it's robot monitoring a robot. Crazy. So this guy was using automation before even automation was a word or automation even existed. We nowadays have OpenClaw, we nowadays have AI, we have LLMs to think, to do work, but this guy was using it far before his time. Or, yeah. So, what's the role for the human then? Uh, Left in his little black box of a business you build? Well, I think it's very important to have one human hired full time to manage all these robots when you are automated everything. So they can check if your server's down or not. Otherwise, you will still 24 by 7 working on this business. I have woken up so many times. It's 4 a.m. Just check my website and it's down, and then I have to do it all this stuff, and then I'm awake for 3 hours cause the server crashed. You wanna have a guy or a girl or whatever on their on standby, get alerts when a server's down and when the robots are not doing their work. Yeah, exit is very important. I have never done it selling your business. I've got proposal to sell my business, but I'm not happy yet with the price. Very important to just finally get on with it and start living, I guess. Hmm. The price of an exit is usually something like this. So let's say you have 25% growth, you have $100,000. Usually you can ask $500,000. If you have higher growth, you can even ask $1 million for $100,000 a year business. Yeah, this is very important. So that's why you see all the startups, they think about the growth rate so much because they want the growth rate for the selling price. It's very important. Also, there is a lot of psychological things with selling, like if you wanna sell your company, maybe you know your company's your baby, like Nomad List is my baby. If I sell, maybe I get depressed. So think about that stuff, obviously. See, that's the whole loop. So you have an idea, you solve your own problem, you build it, then you launch it, you grow it organically. Very important. That's my opinion. Monetize it, automate it, exit, and then you do it again. And this is like a little ecosystem and pattern I found after a few years. Thanks for listening. Okay, I'm on Twitter through if you like to follow. I read a book called Make. Okay, about building startup without funding. See a list of my stories. Contact me. Okay, this is another. Okay, but continue blogging almost every day on my X account. Guys, you can follow his X account because I follow too. Okay, man. Yes, everything crazy. Okay. So yeah, this was day one. I'm sorry if I said day zero of knowing indie hacking. This is the day one of indie hacking, and that's all about beta levels, and will come with such stories. Each day we'll go through each one of it, and yeah, we'll get to know we will get to learn a lot of things because that's how you start. Hmm. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.